My name is Sue and I attend Trinity Church in Cheltenham, and this Easter we are looking at many of the themes and emotions that are experienced during the Easter story, and the particular theme and emotion that I'm looking at is that of being judged. Having worked in a legal capacity for many years, I experienced court trials where juries were asked to assess or judge whether someone was guilty or innocent. If you are judged, it's pretty final. We may have done wrong and the judgment may be fair, but we may never escape that feeling of being judged. However, we do live in a world where there are many ways that we can feel judged or actually be judged, even when we have done nothing wrong. We could be judged because of the clothes we wear, whether we're too fat or too thin, because of our accents, the places we live, whether we have too much money, whether we have too little money, whether the religious faith we have or the colour of our skin. There are just so many ways of being judged, and the list is endless. So I'm inviting my friend Tina now to come and just explain to you her experience of being judged and how she has been able to deal with that because of her faith.
Okay. Hello, my name is Tina. When I was asked to speak on being judged, I first refused because I couldn't remember a time when I had been judged or knew that I'd been judged, but I may not have felt judged by others in things they say, but I'll tell you, I have made the judgment for them in a lot of ways. Because of stuff in my younger years, I struggled with not being good enough. So it doesn't take much for me to believe that I'm being judged when actually, it actually isn't happening. An example of stuff though in my childhood, I guess, is that my father was African and my mother was Irish. And for me, the in-between, it was a difficult childhood because I was born in the 50s. Another story, but I grew up not belonging to the Irish because my mother was white, but they saw me as they would often call me not very nice names. And when I went to Ghana, they called me names because it didn't belong to them either. Some may call that tragedy, but I call that, now I totally get it, but we'll come to that at the end. So for me, it was hard to understand as a child what was wrong with me. I had a loving family. I just felt shamed sometimes of who I was, or I think my colour was the issue actually. But fast forward to my grown years and through life, though life is was going okay, I always felt that pang that I was never good enough. People probably are judging me because of, even if I did something right. Some years ago, my son very kindly bought me a car because mine died, and it ticked all the boxes. He'd listened to the list of things that I needed in a car, and he bought me this car. So it ticked all the boxes. And I remember one day driving to work, and a co-worker stopped me, and after the pleasantries, straight into it. So do we pay you too much? How can you afford a car like this? And I felt it. I felt that judgment. But worst of all, I think, or even if you know me, you'll know that I use that black line a lot, which is it because I was black? But that, on that day, that was so real. That feeling of somebody actually is saying something not very nice. They were judging me on the car I was driving. Yes. Okay, but you know what? Even through all of that, one of the things that I I love to say, and I love to say it all the time, no matter, I can reel off a whole list of things, but what I come down to is, but God. And for me, I say it now, but God. Because in the same way that God has guided me through thick and thin, he guides my heart. And he did guide my heart eventually, because I wouldn't let go of that feeling, to believe, to truly know that I was a child of God, and that with my big afro, curly hair, my beautiful coffee-coloured skin, and my flaws and character, whatever I was, whoever I am, that he loved me, that he was pleased with me, and that he sings over me. And I know that because I've read it, and I've pinned it, and I've got it stuck on above my desk, and it's Zephaniah 3:17, which says, "The Lord your God is with you. His power gives you victory. The Lord will take delight in you, and in his love he will give you new life. He will sing and be joyful over you." So it's taken a while for that to sink in, or to even become comfortable in who I am, or who I am, not what I am, because I ain't a what, I am who I am. And that's okay. My journey with God, and knowing God and who he is, has made the difference in my life. Don't hear me wrongly though, I still get those boom days, where the heart explodes because someone has said something. But
Thank you, Tina. Some areas of society suffer more judgment than others, and if we're on the outside of that group, it is easy for us to underestimate the impact of our words and our actions. We can deprive people of their voice. As a Christian, I believe that Jesus identifies very closely with the issue of judgment. He suffered judgment on many occasions. It was said of him that nothing good could come from Nazareth, and Jesus was brought up in Nazareth. He was accused of being a rule breaker because he didn't follow the rules of the religious hierarchy. And he was accused of being filled with the devil, because how else could he do the miraculous acts that he did? Because surely he wasn't of God, because he didn't support the religious leaders of the day. And Jesus suffered the ultimate judgment by being condemned to death, even though he was an innocent man. Even today, Jesus is judged by the actions of the church. And we tend to look at Jesus through the lens of the church rather than the church through the lens of Jesus. Jesus shows us the way to be. He forgives and he loves. And that is why I choose to follow him. If you would like to understand more about Jesus, the power of the cross, and what it means to be a Christian, then please phone this number, which is going to appear at the bottom of this page. We can then send you details about our Alpha course which we run. This is a completely free course, but it is an opportunity for you to come and discuss with others and ask whatever questions you have. You could also go to our website and find out details there, and also details of our Sunday services and Easter services. If you would like to come to those, you are most welcome.